We are 555 and we are Ohana. We are in Honolulu and we are celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month for our Heritage Month podcast series. We're in a very special place to tell a very special story. History is very, very important. It gets passed down by talk, it gets passed down by tablet, it gets passed down by text, by art, by dance, by song. And specifically dance and song is why we are here in Honolulu today. We're talking to some very special TWU Local 555 members. We're going to do it next in the break room. So last month in Dallas, we had our representative training. Our District 6 representative, Tyler Clough, gave the history of TWU Local 555 and the Transport Workers Union. Knowing your history is very important, and that's one of the other reasons why we do this series. It's not only to know the history of the union that you're with and who represent you, also the members in the union. And that's why we want to talk to the members and know where they came from. We is a very important word in our union. It's collective. So when we say we are 555 or we are family, or because where we are now, we are Ohana. We're sitting on a beach right now. You can see the footsteps. We want to see those steps. We want to hear those steps.
Welcome.
Where are we at right now, by the way?
We're at Koloa Beach Park. This is towards the back end. If probably going to get maybe some shots later of the beautiful Chinaman's hat, or what we call mokoli'i. It's basically one of the most beautiful areas on the coast on the east side of Oahu.
I think right across the street, that's like Jurassic Park, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Welcome to the both of you, and thank you very much for coming to talk with me, or for letting me come to talk to you, letting me come to your island and talk to you and hear your story. First of all, let's introduce you and tell the members who you are.
I'm Mahealani, Nauahi. I am a rep agent with Southwest Honolulu, and I've been here for just over 2 years now.
I'm Kamalani Paran. I'm with Southwest as a ramp agent. I've been with them for 2 years.
So how did you two meet?
Well, we met 12 years ago in high school. And then I started at Chief's Luau. Wanted to bring her along with me because I know she's a great dancer. And then we were just at Chief's Luau for about 10 years.
Inseparable.
Yeah.
When she wouldn't be at work, I'd be upset, vice versa.
Yes.
And it got to the point where she was like, oh, I'm applying for Southwest. I'm like,
Come with me.
without me? Who are you? So then we both applied. She started a month before me. And we've been working there ever since. We're that close that we can't be away.
We have to work at the same job.
Yeah, same jobs.
Yes.
Now, I've seen some of your work, and when I talked earlier about telling the story of the history, there is a way that the history has been passed down through generations for the past couple hundred years, and that has been through song and dance, through dance and word and movement, and that is hula. And I think a lot of people might not really understand how important hula is to the Hawaiian culture and to telling the story of a culture that could have very easily, the story could have died off over 100 years ago. So both of you are hula dancers, and when you think of hula, your first thought might go to, coconut shells and the Brady Bunch and stuff like that. But there's so much more to it in just what little I've learned. But I want to hear from you. Tell us about hula.
When we dance hula, we're sharing our story, where we've come from, what we've learned. It's how we show love as well.
Appreciation. Yeah. Even for special occasions. Back in the old Hawaiian era, there was no paper and pen. Excuse me. There was no paper and pen. The only way that we could tell stories is through music and dance. And that is what kind of keeps our culture alive today. And the best way we know how is through that. So perpetuating that way through our culture is like what means the most to us.
When you see hula and you see those movements and you hear the songs, you're not just waving your arms around for no reason at all.
There's every motion means something.
Yes.
Be more specific.
It's pretty much just like a storytelling through the dance with that coincides with the music.
Do you have a pre-planned story that you know that you're going to go through, or does it come to you as you're doing it?
Both. I would say.
Yeah.
You learn it from your parents, your kumus, your teachers. That's passed it down through generation to generation. I think that's how we keep it alive. it's all just through, I guess, just like our ancestors.
Yeah.
Doesn't really come to us unless you know the song itself, and then you can kind of make it up as you go. Then you could do that. But as long as you know what it's saying, then you can make the motions to match the music.
And it's not necessarily an individual art form. There's a collaboration and a teamwork.
Yeah, a whole group.
Totally.
So, Kama, how did you start?
I think I was about 8 years old. I just grew to love the dance and the culture. I started Tahitian dancing, and then that's when I fell in love with hula dancing.
I would say that it just comes with the being raised on the islands. I would say. It's literally all around you. It's passed from your mom, your grandma, everybody that you probably know can dance hula, or it's some type of Polynesian culture. Every year there's this, it's kind of like the Hula Olympics. It's called Mary Monarch.
Oh, yes.
Every April. It started from our last king, Kalakaua. He's known as the Merry Monarch, and it's a festival where all halaus or groups from all over the world come and compete for traditional hula dancing and stuff. So growing up from ever since we were little, that's all we've known. So watching that, it's like the most traditional style and way, the most proper way to learn dancing. You just keep saying like, oh, I want to do that one day. I want to be up there. And we know a lot of people who are. And just being surrounded with that. Like my mom went. She competed in Mary Monarch, and a lot of her friends are still competing to this day. So it's kind of like you're surrounded. So it's kind of like, why wouldn't I be dancing hula as a Polynesian or Pacific Islander person, especially in Hawaii? It's kind of embedded into you. The glitz and glam of like, the grass skirts and the coconut bras and stuff. That's just that is the touristy part, but knowing that you have groups and halaus, the group area where you can perpetuate it traditionally is also rewarding.
Is there a point in your dance, in your presentation, when you can kind of see what you're doing is breaking through to your audience, to where they're not just staring at you, they're getting that you're telling the story?
They think, I'm sure they think it's just fluff and it's just entertainment for them. But at least for us, or as performers, we know what stories we are telling, even though it's in a different language, in a different culture. We know the stories that we're telling, and we feel that that's enough.
Yeah, you get that personal satisfaction out of knowing that you're able to continue the stories that you've been taught since you grew up. What would you say to somebody who's coming here for their very first time, and they're like, oh, hula, let's go to that? What would you say to them?
I say try it.
Try it.
Why not?
Yeah.
We
Or go see a show.
Go see a show, educate yourself. As long as you have the respect of the art form in mind, then I have no problems. Like, I encourage people to actually try it at least once, or experience some kind of show in there while visiting.
There was a time on these islands for about 100 years where your history was attempted to be wiped out. And it wasn't allowed to be taught in schools. And that's very sad, but it was able to be kept alive on the streets, in the parks, on the beaches, through the dance.
Dancing is one of the things that they tried to erase, but they did it in secret. They did it where nobody was looking, and they kept it alive, and luckily for us, it's still around. And the language as well. Some people think that the Hawaiian language is dead, but it's not.
No,
it's still
beautiful.
Perpetuated here. We have private schools that like the Kamehameha schools that are still daily. They don't talk any English unless it's like English class. But it's all Hawaiian, and we also have little immersion schools for kids. I went to one, so I knew more Hawaiian than I knew English when I was like 5 or 6 years old. So
You should know.
it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to still see that our culture and our livelihood of who we are as people are still
Alive.
Yeah.
And that's what we really want to make known to the people who watch this video, that you may be out in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by water for thousands and thousands of miles, but you have a story to tell, and no one is going to silence you.
Totally. And fun fact, the Iolani Palace had electricity before the White House.
Yes.
So just want to put that out there. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yes, we had electricity before the White House and working plumbing.
There you go.
I just wanted to say that our people were just as modernized, and we were just as thriving as any other country was.
Yes.
Do you carry that tradition on and teach it to the young ones?
Yeah.
There is a specific standard that I hold myself to. I am not a kumu, I'm not a teacher to teach children. I believe that people who are well more educated in it should. But it doesn't mean that I can't teach them a song or two or stuff like that. It's just different styles that different people would teach. But for sure, I would send my child to a halal, or, I would
So
send
you would
my
just teach them yourself.
I'll teach them myself.
Whatever you know.
Because my mom taught me
Here.
and I never been in a group before. So it's just the generations that they pass down. Anywhere I would go, like whether it would be here or England, like I would still be dancing regardless. It's who we are.
Yeah.
It's always will be, and it will never leave us. Every now and then we do it out on the ramps.
Yeah, we do.
Just cause we're hearing music in the terminal or in the plane, and we're just going. Whatever comes to us, it just happens.
I mean, I would think that your coworkers have to love that.
Oh, they
Your
do.
union brothers and sisters have to love
They
that.
do.
We get a little annoyed because we're a little much, but they love us anyways. There was a lot of transfers from Dallas and Denver who recognized us that came in here, and they're like, "Hey, you're on TikTok," or "I seen you on the company board," or whatever. We're just like, "Oh, hey, yeah," because we love what we do. We want to make work fun as much as possible, and without, obviously, safety first, and without getting in trouble. We just want to be able to go into work with smiling and leaving work better than we left it.
Yes.
I guess.
Kama and Mahea, Honolulu Ramp Agents, TWU Local 555 Sisters in the break room for Asian American and Pacific Islander Month. You can follow us on social media at TWU Local 555. And thank you all so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next month for Pride. We are in Honolulu. My name is Eric. Nick Ash is behind the camera, and we're with Anna Arroyo from our Civil and Human Rights Committee. Kama and Mahea, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.